Here's something you might not know about Rodney Alcala, aka the dating game killer. You might already know that Alcala was a serial killer active from the late 60s to the late 70s. Maybe you even saw the Anna Kendrick movie that was loosely based on the story. Alcala has 8 confirmed victims, and though it is possible that he had many, many more, the part of his story that generated so much attention was his 1978 appearance on American game show The Dating Game. A show where one woman would choose between 3 men she couldn't see by asking them a series of vaguely suggestive questions to which they would respond with thinly veiled double entendres. On Alcala's appearance, he was actually chosen by the night's bachelorette, Cheryl Bradshaw, though she declined to go on a date with him afterwards because he was, quote, creepy. Good for her. While it is wild that Alcala appeared on the show, given that he was committing his crimes both before and after, he obviously wasn't known to be a killer at the time of this appearance. However, it is what was known that is even more crazy. It's also the thing that people tend to forget about in this case. You see, in September of 1968, 10 years before he appeared on The Dating Game, a man called the police to let them know that he'd seen Alcala lure an 8-year-old girl named Tally Shapiro into his vehicle. Police arrived at Alcala's apartment to find Tally. I won't go into details about what happened to her there, but Alcala had already fled the scene, and the attack was so savage that Tally spent 32 days in a coma. Alcala ran from California to New York, where he lived under the alias John Berger. He was eventually arrested 3 years later in 1971. Tally's family did not want their daughter to go through the trauma of testifying, so some of the more serious charges against Alcala were dropped, though he still received a 3-year sentence for child molestation. He was paroled just shy of serving the full sentence, and 2 months after his release, he was arrested again for a very similar attack on a 13-year-old girl. He was once again convicted and sent to prison, and then paroled 2 years later in 1977 and registered as a sex offender. This was 1 year before his appearance on The Dating Game. So to be clear, yes, it is crazy that a serial killer was on a dating show in the middle of his crimes. Sure, but no one knew about those crimes at the time. However, it was known that this guy had been imprisoned twice for violent crimes against young girls, and he was a registered sex offender. And they were still like, sure, why not? Let's offer to send poor Cheryl Bradshaw out on a date with this dude. No problem there, right? I mean, look at this guy. Registered sex offender sitting there on national television making stupid jokes about bananas. You can actually watch his entire appearance on The Dating Game on YouTube if you're interested. It is seriously unsettling. If you're interested in learning more, Stella Sands has a fantastic book called The Dating Game Killer. Follow for more true crime content.